Hey everybody, day 7, sitting here in our hotel room after an interesting day. We went to a museum called I think it's called the Mongolian Intellectual Museum, but it's really more about games, specifically, well, mainly like puzzle games, little games made out of wood or boxes that require you to open them in a certain way, but also board games like chess and things like that. And it was, it's owned by, I think Mongolia's first or maybe only private museum. It's owned by this 75-year-old man who is a former economist, we went there, shot a whole bunch, got a guide to give us a tour, shot a whole bunch of the museum, and then he showed up for the interview and demanded payment of a level that we were not comfortable with. It's something that I have expected to happen a lot more than it has. And it was really uncomfortable. Usually we arrange these sort of things ahead of time. If people, you know, we don't typically compensate people because they are getting exposure, especially a place like this. Like, you know, we list the name of the place, we list the GPS coordinates a lot of the time, and usually people are cool and understand that. Sometimes it makes sense for, you know, we always pay for tickets, things like that, and sometimes people ask to make a donation, but we all know that ahead of time. And this guy really blindsided us because we had not agreed to this ahead of time, even though we had been in contact with him prior to this. So we ended up haggling a lot and brought it down to a reasonable level, but it was pretty uncool of him to do that. But we were able to interview him, and he was, you know, it was an okay interview. It just kind of soured us on the whole thing a little bit. But you know, you got to just roll with this stuff. We could have just left with the footage we had and not done the interview, but you know, that's not what we came to do. We came here to learn about Mongolian games, and it's a shame that he kind of was obstructing us from doing that. Clearly, he loves Mongolia and games, yeah, I just wish he was a little more on the up and up about the payment in ahead of the time before we got there. So that was weird, but got some good footage from that, and it was interesting guy to talk to. But after that, it was basically the exact opposite. We talked to a guy named Grimix. I asked him how to pronounce it. He said whatever. Who is a YouTube creator, a YouTuber, I guess, if you liked that word. But he does a lot of talking over video game style content, and is one of the most popular channels here in Mongolia. So we got to chat with him about what's up with video games. We heard the government was cracking down on PC cafes. What's up with that? Got a lot of really good insight from a kid. Basically, he's not that old, but he's got more subscribers than the Cloth Map channel does. So he's doing pretty well considering Mongolia, and his channel's in Mongolian, and Mongolia's, you know, less than 5 million people. So pretty impressive guy. He was great to talk to. But yeah, two very different interviews today, but both substantive. So I'll call it a win. See you guys tomorrow.